as long as this beast is stalking the country, attempting to destroy our Constitution, attempting to rise to the level or sink to the level is more like it, like Kim Jong-un or Putin or Bashar al-Assad, or I mean, let's goes on and on and on. And if we are foolish enough to think that is hyperbolic bullshit, listen, Trump has made very clear in the stilted language that the ignorant savage uses what his plans are. And he only shows the part that he thinks the Christians will allow him to get away with. What's beneath those words, I think it's obvious now, is a man who is a natural-born psychopath. Just a complete psychopath. I don't care how he presents himself. All right. Let me give you another example of his psychopathology. He, on Monday, he said, and then I think he went ahead and did it, that he's nominating a lawyer and former vice chair of the California Republican Party as the U.S. Department of Justice Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. Now, it's another immigrant, for somebody who really stirred up the stupid fucking masses about his anti-immigrant rhetoric all during the campaign. Trump just loves putting in charge and in very high, his Musk's partner, Rosanna Dana, blah, 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 who is going to assist him, whose parents were immigrants from India. And now we have another one. This woman is from India. She came to this country. She was born in Chandigarh, India, into a Sikh family. Her family moved to the United States when she was a child so that her father could pursue a career in medicine. And her name is Harmeet Dillon. And the last name is spelled in the decidedly Indian/English way. Trump made this announcement on a social media platform, the little toy platform Truth Social. And he wrote that throughout her career, this woman, quote, has stood up consistently to protect our cherished civil liberties, including taking on big tech for censoring our free speech. You know what that means? That means when Twitter banned the son of a bitch because he was just, and he's doing it again, just populating the airspace with lies, deceptions, bullshit, dishonor, ugliness, hate. So that's what he means when he said big tech was censoring free speech. And according to this bastard, Harmeet Dillon took on big tech. And he says in his quote on his toy social media platform that she was, quote, representing Christians who were prevented from praying together during COVID. What the fuck? Nobody ever told these Christian devils that they couldn't pray together. In some areas, the rule was don't get your congregation together, you false fucking prophets, you liars, you deceivers. You get them together and make them sick, and then they die. And they don't have a moment of recognition when they do die that there is nothing except oblivion. But the way it's spun, you see, the way it's repeated over and over and over again, the Biden administration forced these poor, miserable, fucked up, put upon Christians and prevent them from getting together and praying. I would remind them what their so-called Messiah said, who's not a Messiah at all, but he was a revolutionary, the rabbi from Nazareth, Jesus, who said, quote, where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there is my church. But these mega pastors who just continue to fleece these dumb bastards almost as badly as Big Pharma does. I mean, they're just scam after fucking scam after scam in this country. And one of the biggest, one of the most poisonous is the Christian religion. All religion, but in this country, Christianity. What a goddamn, oh well. representing Christians who are prevented from praying to corporations who use woke policies to discriminate against their workers, end quote. You son of a bitch. See, this is what I mean. So-called woke policies are not used to discriminate. They're used to include. They're used to acknowledge. They're used to honor. They're used to say, hey, don't be afraid of these racist fucking pigs, these Christian political fascist devils. Don't be afraid of them. Come on. Our company is, to use their phrase, woke, and we're goddamn proud of it. Oh, Jesus, I don't believe I'm saying this stuff. Anyway, Trump, in his shitty little post on his toy social media platform, he also noted that Harmeet, quote, is one of the top election lawyers in the country, fighting to ensure that all and only legal votes are counted. You miserable son of a bitch. You called the Secretary of State right here in my state, you miserable lying bastard, and tried to get him to find unlawful, illegal, non-existent votes. But this is Trump, or somebody who wrote this for him, probably that Nazi Jew Stephen Miller, because Trump can't write. But this is what was posted under his name on his toy media platform. Now, the truth is, according to the Democracy Docket, is where I got this information on this crazy woman. Democracy Docket. You can check it out. There's all sorts of information on there that are information that is pertinent to the struggle that we're all entering into now and going to be in until Trump is removed from office. Anyway, Harmeet has become one of the leading legal figures working to stop voting rights across the country. Now that means black folk are being targeted once again. And let me assure you, other than South Africa, under apartheid, there is no more racist country on earth than India. I mean, they even divide people not by where they were born, what family they were born into, what region of the country they came from, but also the color of their skin, the fucking color of their skin. That sound familiar? The Hindus in India, led by Modi, this crazy fucker, Nazi dictator wannabe who runs India, it is so racist. And when the people come, I've known some Indian immigrants to this country. I used to live in a neighborhood where there were several. And yeah, we were friendly. We get together and have a glass of scotch or sit around and talk about bullshit subjects. Every time I brought up Modi, they would want to change the subject, believe me, because they were Modi supporters. But they came to this country to make lots and lots and lots of money. But in talking to them, I was really shocked to find out just how horribly racist they are. And they bring their racism with them. When they come to this country, now, if you're of Indian extraction, I don't know what to tell you. I should examine what your attitudes are, what the attitudes are in India about people of color. Even your own people. Well, just like here, you know. But they are racist sons of bitches in India. And this is where she comes from. Now, let me just interject right here. Since this woman is going to be in charge of the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department, if she's confirmed, I don't even know if she needs confirmation. And her goal is to take away the right to vote from people around the country. And she's going to start with black folk. Trust me on this. Let me quote something from an Indian man. His name will sound like he's English. He's not. Matthew John. He's an Indian poet and writer. And I found this online from Matthew John. Let me quote it for you. On the issue of racism, we have a lot to be ashamed of. In her profoundly insightful book on racism, entitled Caste, Isabel Wilkerson describes the hierarchies of power that sets the presumed supremacy of one group against the supposed inferiority of another, that harnesses race, class, and color to divide and subjugate people. We in India have the dubious distinction of not only providing the moniker for the book, but being linked with Nazi Germany and America as the dominant locations that have bolstered the racist power structures and hierarchies that divide us today. Wilkerson, the author, points to uncanny similarities between India and America. Both have adopted social hierarchies that reinforce the differences between the highest and the lowest, keeping the dominant castes separate, apart, and above those deemed lower. Both countries exiled their indigenous people, the Adivasis in India, the Native Americans in the United States, to remote lands and to the unseen margins of society, apart from using terror and force to keep them there. To put it bluntly, our India's centuries-old iniquitous caste system is the mothership that has provided the inspiration for Nazi Germany and racist America. This egregious concept of social hierarchy goes back millennia and is thousands of years older than European racism and division by skin color. But caste is not our only social deformity. Our racism here in India is a many-colored monster that goes beyond caste, embracing discrimination based on religion, on the color of one's skin, and even one's facial characteristics. End quote. Matthew John, an Indian poet and writer. Now, the woman who has absorbed this because of her Indian upbringing, her Indian family, the woman who's absorbed all this, Harmeet Dhillon, is now to be in charge of Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department. She will be the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. This racist woman. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.